Most people think wealth begins when money appears: a bigger salary, a successful business, a luxury car, a large house. But wealth rarely begins in a bank account. It begins in the mind. Long before people become rich, they often develop certain ways of thinking, certain habits, certain attitudes, and these signs are usually invisible because society notices the results. But it ignores the process. Many wealthy people spent years looking ordinary. They worked quietly, they learned quietly, they failed quietly. And eventually, the world called them lucky. The truth is that money often arrives long after the mindset. So if you're wondering whether you'll ever become wealthy, perhaps the better question is, do you already possess the signs? Here are 15 signs that you may become rich one day. Sign number 1. You think long-term. Most people live inside the next weekend, the next paycheck, the next holiday, the next month. But future wealth often belongs to people who can think years ahead. A person who saves money today for something 5 years away is already different. A student who studies a skill that may not pay immediately is already thinking differently. A person who plants trees whose shade they may never sit under understands something important. The wealthy often sacrifice present comfort for future freedom because they understand that today's decisions become tomorrow's reality. The question isn't, what do I want now? The question becomes, what kind of life am I building? And if you often think this way, you already possess one of the rarest qualities in modern society. Sign number 2. You can delay gratification. Imagine placing 2 buttons in front of people. One button gives $100 today. The other gives $1,000 next year. Many people press the first button, not because they're foolish, but because waiting feels painful. Modern life teaches us to want everything immediately: food, entertainment, success, attention, results. But wealth often rewards people who can wait, people who can save instead of spend, study instead of party, build instead of consume. Because money compounds, skills compound, knowledge compounds, but only if you give them time. The ability to delay gratification is one of the strongest predictors of future success, because the people who can wait usually receive much more. Sign number 3. You enjoy learning. School teaches many people that learning is something you do because you have to. Rich people often see learning differently. For them, learning becomes a lifestyle. They read books, watch documentaries, ask questions, study people, study money, study mistakes. They become curious. Because every skill can increase value, every lesson can prevent failure, every new idea can change a life. Money often follows value, and value often follows knowledge. If you genuinely enjoy learning, even when nobody forces you, you possess an advantage that can grow for decades. Sign number 4. You take responsibility. Blaming feels good. It protects the ego. It removes guilt. It gives us someone else to blame. The government, parents, the economy, friends, bad luck. And sometimes those things truly create obstacles. But people who eventually become wealthy often ask a different question. Instead of asking, whose fault is this? They ask, what can I do now? Responsibility is powerful because it returns control. It says, my circumstances may not be my fault, but my future is my responsibility. And that mindset changes everything, because when you believe your actions matter, your decisions improve, and better decisions create better outcomes. Sign number 5. You value time more than money. Most people trade time for money. Future wealth builders often learn to protect time itself. Because money can return, time cannot. The wealthy frequently ask, is this worth my time? Can this be delegated? Can this be automated? Can this be avoided? Meanwhile, many people sacrifice years for temporary pleasures. Hours disappear scrolling. Days disappear procrastinating. Years disappear waiting. People who value their time begin making different choices. And eventually, those choices create different lives, because your life is simply your time spent. And how you spend it determines who you become. Sign number 6. You can work without immediate rewards. One of the strangest things about wealth is that it often requires years of invisible work. Nobody applauds the person learning a skill at midnight. Nobody celebrates the first 100 videos. Nobody notices the first failed business. Nobody pays attention to the countless days when nothing seems to happen. And yet, this is where future wealth is built. Many people quit because they don't see results quickly. They go to the gym for 2 weeks. They start a business for 3 months. They learn a skill for a few days. And when the rewards don't arrive, they stop. But the people who eventually succeed understand something different. They know that progress is often hidden. Like planting seeds underground, nothing appears on the surface, but beneath the soil, something is growing. If you can continue working even when nobody notices, you already possess a skill that many people never develop. Because eventually, the invisible becomes visible. Sign number 7. You spend less than you earn. Modern society constantly tells us to look rich. Expensive clothes, luxury phones, cars we cannot afford, lifestyle financed by debt. But genuine wealth often grows quietly. Many wealthy people spend far less than people imagine, because they understand the difference between being rich and looking rich. One attracts attention, the other creates freedom. Every amount of money you don't spend becomes a worker. It can be invested, saved, used to create opportunities. Money kept today can produce more money tomorrow. But money spent trying to impress others disappears forever. If you naturally avoid unnecessary spending and think carefully before buying things, you may already possess an important financial habit. Sign number 8. You are curious about how things work. Curiosity creates opportunities. Children naturally ask, why, how, what if? Unfortunately, many adults stop asking questions. They accept things exactly as they are. But future wealth often belongs to curious people. They ask, why are some businesses successful? How does money work? What makes people buy? Why do certain habits produce better results? How can this be improved? Curiosity creates knowledge. Knowledge creates ideas. Ideas create opportunities, and opportunities often create wealth. Many successful people are simply individuals who never stopped asking questions. Sign number 9. You invest in yourself. The first investment many wealthy people make is not in stocks, not in property, not in businesses. It is in themselves. Skills, knowledge, communication, health, confidence, education. Because your skills determine your value. A person who becomes better often earns more. A person who learns more often contributes more. And a person who improves themselves becomes increasingly valuable to the world. Many people spend money only on entertainment. Others spend money becoming better. Books, courses, tools, experiences, mentors. The returns from self-investment can last a lifetime. And if you regularly invest in your own growth, you are building something no one can take away. Sign number 10. You can be alone with your thoughts. Modern life is very noisy. Music, videos, notifications, messages, entertainment. Many people fear silence. They fear being alone with themselves. But some of the most important decisions in life happen during quiet moments. Silence allows reflection. Reflection creates understanding. Understanding creates wisdom. Many successful people spend time thinking, walking, writing, reflecting. Because clarity rarely appears during distraction, if you can sit quietly and think about your life, your future, and your goals, you possess a quality that has become increasingly rare. And in a world full of noise, clarity becomes extremely valuable. Sign number 11. You question what everyone else accepts. Society often gives us a script: study, graduate, work, spend, repeat. Many people follow these instructions without questioning them. But people who eventually become wealthy often ask difficult questions. Why am I doing this? Is there another way? Who benefits from this system? What if I chose differently? Questioning does not mean rebellion. It means thinking independently. And independent thinking often creates opportunities that others never see. Because if everyone walks the same path, everyone arrives at the same destination. Sometimes wealth begins when someone dares to think differently. Sign number 12. You choose growth over comfort. Comfort is attractive. It asks very little. Stay where you are. Do what feels safe. Avoid risks. Avoid failure. Avoid discomfort. Growth asks for the opposite. Learn new skills. Speak up. Take chances. Face rejection. Accept mistakes. Many wealthy people repeatedly choose temporary discomfort because they understand that comfort today can create regret tomorrow. Growth is rarely pleasant in the beginning, but neither is staying the same. And people who repeatedly choose growth often discover opportunities that comfortable people never encounter. Sign number 13. You recover after failure. Failure destroys some people, but it teaches others. Everyone experiences disappointment. Businesses fail, exams are failed, plans collapse, mistakes happen. The difference is not the failure itself. The difference is the response. Some people stop trying. Others become wiser. Many successful people failed repeatedly before succeeding, not because they enjoyed failure, but because they refused to allow failure to become their identity. If you can lose, learn, and continue moving forward, you already possess a quality that money alone cannot buy. Because resilience often determines who eventually succeeds. Sign number 14. You are patient. The world encourages speed, quick money, quick success, quick fame, quick results. But real wealth often moves slowly. Trees grow slowly. Skills develop slowly. Businesses expand slowly. Investments compound slowly. Patience allows people to continue when others quit. It allows people to trust the process, to remain consistent, to keep building. Many people abandon their goals just before progress appears. The patient person stays. And because they stay, they eventually receive the rewards that impatience could never reach. Sign number 15. You create more than you consume. Many people spend their lives consuming, watching, scrolling, buying, following, reacting. But wealth often belongs to creators, people who write, build, teach, design, sell, solve problems, create value. The world rewards people who contribute. And contribution creates opportunities. If you spend more time building than consuming, you may already be developing the habits that lead to future success. Because consumers spend money, creators generate value, and value is where wealth begins. Final message. Perhaps you are not rich today. Perhaps your bank account does not yet reflect your effort. Perhaps your progress feels invisible. But wealth often arrives quietly. It begins with habits, with choices, with thoughts, with discipline. Long before the world sees success, certain signs appear. The ability to wait, the willingness to learn, the courage to take responsibility, the patience to continue, the discipline to grow. Money is often the final chapter. The mindset comes first. So if you recognized yourself in several of these signs, keep going, because your future may already be taking shape, not in your wallet, not in your possessions, but in the person you are becoming. And sometimes, the richest people in the future simply look like ordinary people today. Subscribe for more videos that help you think differently, live intentionally, and build a future worth having.